Alright, we are back at it again. Here we go. What are we doing today? We're going to be working on the impact feedback on your crosshair. I'm going to see if I can do a little something so that you can feel like you're actually hitting something. You'll get like a little notifier or some shit. So we're going to figure that out. We got to clean up some of these bugs that I'm working on. Nothing really that big. These are just like weird breaks because these are from like old projects that I was doing. So I just have to clean these up real quick. Sometimes when you make massive changes, the old blueprints that you don't even use anymore will like suddenly break and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is fixing some old blueprints. I just don't want to get rid of them yet because I might use them down the road. You never know. Alright, so I'm just going to bypass all those functions, get rid of that. That menu, what is going on with you? Spawn random enemy. Okay. Grab enemies. This is now going to be spawn master. Enemy 2. Go. Where did I put that data? Oh, right here. What am I doing? Okay, boom, done. Okay, so to clean that up, close that. Should be clear to play now. Sweet. All right, we're back in business. All right, now let's make it so that we can actually do hit markers on these guys. Oh, I don't see that thing spawning anymore. Random. Okay. It's kind of odd. Don't know why that's a thing, but alright. It's like randomly something just doesn't work for no reason. I swear, like little gremlins pop into my game when I'm sleeping, and they like tear up code and destroy stuff. Because it's like things work one day, and then the next day I open up my game and things just don't work all of a sudden. I guess we'll be fixing something first before we do some progress today. Oh well. Take your time, Unreal. Take your time. What's going on, Spam? You like the green shirt, man. Green for good. Let's go. At least I changed my shirt today. Okay. So hopefully this works. I don't know what was just going on. Like I literally just like I hit play and it was like it's like not working correctly. I don't know. Like what? How is that not appearing all of a sudden? We literally had that working last night. Okay. Not getting no, I did not buy my assets. They are self-made. It is some of the newer stuff is a combination of AI pipelines that I have. but right now it's kind of 50-50. So like I make some of my stuff in Blender. Sometimes I do AI. Sometimes I do AI and then fix the AI assets into my own. So it's like a big hodgepodge right now. But AI is slowly taking over. I'll tell you that much. Because there's just no beating it. There's just no beating it. Like AI can just do such good stuff now. It's just, you know, there's no point in even doing it on your own anymore. So I just do polish at this point. But a lot of the starter stuff, like a lot of the crap that you'll see in like my videos and stuff, that's all my stuff. But yeah, it's, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I still have to like clean stuff up. Even if it's AI, it's not like, you know, click drag. Yeah. Yeah, you always gotta like coach it and it does stupid shit, and then you gotta go in and fix it, and then you find it's been an hour and you're still trying to fix an asset. You should have just tried a different one, you know. Yeah, so like AI isn't perfect right now, but it's really good for like non-descriptive things, like kind of like generic stuff. Um, it's really good at hard model stuff like that. Okay, we need to figure out what the hell's going on here. So for some reason, we are just not. This is just not working at all, or something. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Let's do a breakpoint here and let's take a look. All right, here we go. It's good. That should be bad. What? Why is this not valid? Something breaking here? I'm really confused right now. Something broke somewhere, and now we have to figure out what it is because there's absolutely nothing telling us what's wrong. So let's slowly start looking through our systems here. All right, I have one enemy camp. That map, that's correct. It's always tough trying to find bugs. The worst bugs are the ones that don't tell you anything, and that's exactly what we're dealing with right now. Okay, so it's saying salvage pit. Do I not have... Alright, something weird's going on. We gotta figure this out. We're slowly narrowing it down. I didn't want to have to deal with this, but I guess we're gonna have to deal with this for a minute. Let's see. That's gonna be under our mission assets, enemy POIs. Today, what I wanted to do, by the way, why did Microsoft just close all of my windows? Hold on. I hate that feature. Basic game as a hobby. Which game engine should Unreal Engine? I mean, I'm super biased. Like Unreal Engine is just going to give you everything you need, and then you can turn things off if you don't want it. You can just go in here, like edit plugins, and you can like shut stuff off if you really don't want stuff. But like for the most part, man, I mean, it's just going to give you everything you need right out of the box. They have the lowest percentage yield, so if you put the stuff on the market, like they'll only charge you like 5% after you make like your first $1 million. So yeah, I mean, it can fluctuate, but they're generally the best option. Yeah. Optimizing, well, I mean, it depends on the game, I guess, but like optimization has nothing to do with the engine. Optimization has everything to do with your knowledge of how you can sneakily get things to work without making it too expensive. That's a dev thing, not an engine thing. I mean, I've seen Unity games that are horribly optimized. They're just junk. So get that out of your head. Think it's just like building a car. Okay, so like one company can make a car and it's just a total piece of shit. Another company like Tesla, they can make a car and it's super efficient, right? It doesn't matter what factory it was made in, right? It doesn't matter. It's just what matters is how they built it, how they designed it, and that's basically how it works. Yeah. Well, AI is fine. I mean, I use AI all the time for everything, man. You can use it for some aspects of code. Obviously, you'd have to use or learn, get your head around, what this is called visual scripting blueprints. So, but the official term is visual scripting. Um, but this is changing. Like they're actually adding, coming up pretty soon in Unreal, they're going to add an AI system that will do this for you. So it'll like help you a little bit. And there's already plugins that you can get that will do it for you as well, third-party plugins. It's too late for me because I already know mostly like what I'm doing and what I want. So AI is kind of more work than it's not for me at this point. Um, but yeah, so it just depends. Okay, salvage pit. Let's see what's going on here. This comes from master enemy POI. And this is quite literally the same fucking thing. Let's just get rid of this camp here. Put this on the ground. And let's get rid of that. Okay, we're gonna do this one needs to have a PCG element to it, and I don't know how we're gonna do this. PCG. Then we're gonna choose our salvage pit PCG. Unity DX ball. I never heard of it. No. I mean it's a big world out there, but yeah. I mean if you've already used Unity, then you could start with Unity, I guess. I mean whatever you're comfortable doing, really. File 1, salvage zone. There we go. Right? I mean, like, if you're comfortable with something, then you're going to probably do better with that than you would with anything else. So you should probably just stick with that if that's what you want to do. It depends on the game you're doing, really. Yeah, it's called Breakout. That's cool. I don't really do mobile games that much, so I would be a bad person to... I mean, I've heard of Angry Birds. That's about it. Okay, so that's okay, so that saves the instance individually. Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of people get turned off, like new devs, with Unreal because it's so big. It's a lifestyle. It's just absolutely massive. So I can understand like how it can be completely like scary and stuff. But I mean, I'll just say what I say to everyone else. Don't be a little bitch. Just jump in and start learning how to swim, man. I mean, I literally know nothing about code. Like when I started doing this, I came from I worked in TV, in the TV industry. Like reporters, photographers, stuff like that. Like I worked in TV news. So like I never did this ever. I never touched code. I barely even made a website. So if I can learn all this stuff, then anybody can. Now granted, I'm like 3-4 years into this, but if I can do it, you can do it. So there's really no excuse. Let's see. You just gotta want it. You gotta want it beyond all things. And I'll tell you, I get tired a lot. Like it is hard to keep pushing, but you just have to do it. Salvage zone. Yeah, so that's correct. All right, so let's try doing this. Let's open this baby up. Okay, different density filter. Let's do 0.7. Okay, I didn't do anything. I never know. Okay, so like, what is going on with Twitch lately? So like, what are you typing right now, Undead? Are you drunk, or are you did you literally just say I, be, and? Because, no joke, Twitch is saying different things. Like on my top screen, it says that you said I, B, and then SI, C. And then on my other screen, it said I, B, and it said C at first. It said C, like SI. And then it switched to and. Like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like, Twitch constantly just like changes letters and words. I see people's names, like they'll come in here and they'll type, and like, for example, Spam's name, it would say something totally different. It'd be like Bob442, and it would just change all of a sudden to Spam. Like, what? And like, he could say like the alphabet, and then it would be like, you know, like the sky. Like, it'll just change. I'm like, what is going on? Like, is AI just like controlling everything now? Like, I have no idea. I have no clue. It's really weird, and I've noticed it a lot lately. Like, things just keep changing. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but sure. Let's see, 0.8. Why is this not like updating? Bounding shape, landscape. No, so this should actually be. See, I want the bounding shape to be the actor data. I don't know if I can get that though. Actually, it looks like it does work. Okay. So the actor represents the distance? Okay. Transform points. I want to get trying to get this thing to like show more than one thing. I don't know why it's not. Whatever, we'll get to that later. All right, moving onward. So I moved the base Undead. I don't know if you just like are still there or if you're wandering off again. But I moved the base in Dune. Pretty much everything's moved except for the water. So if you want to finish tearing it down, that'd be fantastic. All right, this might crash. Bunker hut. How are those not showing up all of a sudden? I am so fucking confused. I literally had this bitch working fine last night, and it just like decides to not work anymore? Like, what the fuck? Alright, well, we know we're getting the right colony data. So what the fuck is this all about? Not a valid class. Something break inside of here? Okay, so it is getting called. True. Random navigatable radius. Okay. It's spawning. It's doing everything correct. Now it works. Dude, that's a weird bug, bro. That is a weird bug. So basically, I had to just find the right blueprint and recompile it, even though there was no error. Oh yeah, the amount of detail is insane, man. Alright, so this is what we're working on. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that when I hit it, I want to get like an indicator that we're hitting it. So let's start with that. I got really sidetracked there because I was trying to fix this crap, but I think we got it. Salvage pit. This is a tricky one. So I was going to use PCG. So what PCG would allow me to do is effectively do this. Okay, let me just show you what this does. I built this salvage zone, and is it not salvage zone? Maybe it's the wrong one. Hold on. Auto. It's supposed to be salvage zone. Oh, shit. You know what? I just thought of something. This does need to be set to landscape, unfortunately. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So you see how fast that was? So basically, what it does is it automatically just slaps shit together. And then, like, when it actually populates in the world, it's going to always be random and different every time. So this is the kind of stuff that I would use around a base. So if this was like a salvage pit, for example, I could just know that this thing will always generate these random things, which don't work right now because I don't have them set up. But it'll generate all this stuff, and then I can it'll be a junkyard effectively, and that will be a POI, a point of interest. But it'll change every time. So see, it just scrambled again. It scrambled again. It'll change and be completely different, but it will still be to that general bound area. So what I'm trying to do is get that to work inside of one of my actors, and it's being a little whore right now. So I kind of wanted to get that to work. All right, so this should be good to go. Let's do the difference of actor data. We'll leave that on, so it should ignore other actors. And then what we'll do is we'll say don't care about that right now. We're going to go to specifics, which is our salvage pit, and you're going to say generate, and then clear, then destroy. Okay, so this should convert everything. No, I want that. There we go. This should convert everything and then destroy the little PCG system, because I don't want the PCG thing in there anymore. I just want to get rid of it. So this might crash the game too. Yeah. Okay. I figured. All right. This is non-stop carnage. See if we can figure that out. Go to our AI system. Okay, we're going to say in Unreal Engine, I have a PCG component in an actor. At begin play, I want the PCG to take its random populated self and then clear the link to the PCG from the populated assets and turn them into instance static meshes. Then I want to remove the PCG component. I'm using the nodes. Now I gotta spit out what I'm using so it has a good idea of what I've already tried. Generate to generate and then clear PCG link and then destroy component. It appears to crash my game though. Am I doing this correct or missing something? All right, let's see what AI says here. Fucking random YouTube video, get out of here. Try to close some of these other tabs. There we go. Oh. So it's basically destroying itself before it can generate itself. Use the generate node with a callback or event to detect the generation is complete. Okay. Okay, that doesn't exist. Let me just try this. Let me just do delay. Well, let's do an is valid. And we'll do a delay before the is valid. We'll wait 5 seconds. Should be more than enough time. See if we crash again. We crashed. And we crashed 5 seconds later. Which tells me that when we're trying to remove the component, it's freaking out. Wait for this fucker to reboot. I don't need that step. That's what the other node does for me. Hmm. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do... So when we tried to clear the PCG link, this is where I think it screwed up. Move all generated resources under a new actor following a template. A actor, if not provided, clearing all links to the PCG component returns the new actor. Okay, so the new actor will be cast to, let's see, Master Harvest? Master Harvestable? Cast to Master Harvestable. What's up, Agent? What you doing, man? What you be doing, man? What you be doing, man? Do I want to just go with, yeah, we'll just do it with ISMs. That's fine. Just make it an ISM. Okay. Trying to do a PC generated ISM conversion system. It's always something ridiculous. All right, so let's not destroy the freaking component then, if that's the way it's going to be. Or at the very least, let's delay another 5. We're probably going to crash again because I got to see if this works. Got to see if this works, boys. Okay, so we're going to wait 5. Generate. Wait 5. Destroy. Okay, that was definitely not 10 seconds. So, I think what it is it's the clear node. Something's wrong with the clear node. You gonna pull an all-nighter tomorrow? Nice. For your game? That's cool. Already doing some good tests? You getting some progress done? Spam. First dedicated server with 16 players and AI. Nice. Damn. You're flying, dude. Fucking hell. That sounds freaking awesome. Are you using Iris for your for your dedicated system? Just remember, speed is not important. All that matters is it reliable? Is it stable? Just waiting for this thing to build the navigation thing on. Boom, 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 boom. Man, that's fucking bright. All right. Oh God. So let me give you a little piece of advice. You can't use collision boxes. You have to be more clever with how you do those calls because the more enemies you have, it's just going to be a shit show, especially in multiplayer. Because what's happening is those things have to like talk back and forth to the server, and then the server has to relay all that information to the people, so you're multiplying the factor every time there's another person in the room. Regardless, you can't use collision boxes, or at least you can't use them often. If you do, it has to be very brief, like a trace. But if they're tracing all the time, that ain't going to work either. That's why I didn't like their sense component. That can be really taxing too. The sense component, honestly, is kind of shit. So I don't know. Yeah, you want to use EOS. I think it's called EOS or EQS. That's like the way to like properly navigate enemies around and stuff. I don't even use it. I haven't gotten to it yet, so it's beyond me. But that's the kind of shit you need to get into, unfortunately. Yeah, collision boxes are just junk. You just can't do it. All right, so I think what's happening is that's clearing and then it's breaking everything. So let's do this, shall we? We're gonna say, first thing I need is landscaping, harvestables, master harvestable. Yeah, try to use math as much as you can, and that will save you a lot of drama. You know, like check like a distance check with floats and stuff. Like that's one of the fastest ways to, like, math is cheap. Collision boxes are expensive as fuck. On every asset you have, they're expensive. That's why I rarely use them. I only use them for a brief moment to scan something, and then I do something according to that scan. But I don't ever really use collision boxes much, especially on an enemy or a player. No way. Yeah, EQS. Until I add my item dropper with meshes and collision zones, AI goes nuts. One drop item. 220 collision. Oh, you gotta change that shit. Oh my god. That's insanity. That's insanity, dude. Yeah. Well, are you updating, like, are you using a nav mesh, or just update in that local area? You can just do it by tile, can't you? Okay, yeah. You should be able to just update in that area using a one of these. Nav modifier. It's not nav modifier though. It's called something else. Maybe it is this. Yeah, nav modifier obstacle, and then just make sure it's like a small little section on your. That way, it only updates that tile instead of everything for everybody. Okay. So if any damage comes in, first damage, blah, blah, blah. New followers, welcome. Ignore certain channels I added. Yeah, pretty sure they can scan 8 channels instead of 1. Yeah, that's that's what it sounds like. It sounds pretty aggressive. But, you know, just keep at it, man. Just keep at it. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just don't give up. You'll get there. Game mode. Might be an old variable in here. Let me see if I can clean this up. Hold on. Is that like the only fucking area? That shouldn't be anywhere else. And I'm frozen. We're just gonna sit here and freeze for a while. Okay, there we go. It's doing this stupid, like, scan thing. Whatever, I'm over it. Yeah, I'm not using that anywhere else. Well, we don't need this anymore, so there's no need to have that. Let me get rid of that shit. I guess we'll just make it ore. That's the only thing I can think of. Okay, let's just do this. So we're gonna say, I need my harvester tool, which is under items, utility, harvesting tool, harvester. Okay, so when I hit something that contains any of these nodes, it needs to do the corresponding shit. This is kind of a temporary system that I've been doing because I'm going to be moving to a new system. But for now, okay, if it has salvage, where is ore? Ore is right here. Okay, so if it has ore, boolean, Unreal, about 50 random shaders now. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty much how it is. That's pretty much how it is. Okay, yeah. So about that, we can clean this up dramatically. I'm going to be doing a whole new system, but right now I'm just kind of using my old system because I just want to get it done. And then once 2.0 is out, then I'm going to come in and start like cleaning things up and changing stuff. Okay, so if we see salvage, we will set ourselves as minerals. Oh, let me fix this real quick. I don't like how this looks. Okay, if we are set to ore, minerals, or salvage. Okay, so let's do this. Let's say and foliage also does minerals. I'm trying to like get these to correlate. That's supposed to be set to energy. Maybe I should make salvage do energy. Okay, let's do this real quick. We're going to say this, or bool, this, slowly organizing this with this, equals minerals, don't need that. If it contains aluminium, grass is also a part of this. If it contains aluminium, we do that. And if it contains energy, we do that. Or salvage. So salvage will give you energy, because why not? Got to do something different. All right. So that's set up for what it becomes. Now I need to set up how it actually interacts with the system. So full resource sockets. It's gonna be in our game mode. Socket pools. Okay, so that's like normal socket pulls. Okay. A lot of moving parts. This is why I want to change everything to a new system. Okay, so let's do utility harvester. That's fine. Should be good. Sure. Let's see what happens. I don't know. It's not the right one. Why does the other one not spawn? I'm so confused by that. It's like sometimes the other one just, if it's the other place, it like won't. Alright, whatever. We'll just test it on this shit for now. I don't know. Static mesh, open. We're gonna say salvage. Hell yeah. It's all AI, so ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no more need for anything. I don't have to do any work anymore for that shit. That's why I'm able to like get a lot of work done now. Finally. All right. So that's hitting, but it's not registering. So let's see why that's happening. Utility harvester, that's going to be our main trace from our commander when we're using the harvester, which is this. Full standard sockets. Here we go. I gotta add it to this. That should do it. Grass, foliage, ore, aluminium, minerals, energy, salvage, and just in case, wood. In case for some reason there's something missing in there. I should have converted everything out of wood, but whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of work I still have to do, but... okay, so that's still not fucking registering. Why? Let's find out why, shall we? Object type. Harvestable. I don't know. Oh, we gotta run our thing, that's why. We gotta do this little guy. I think. Scan and update. It should change all ISMs on the fly. Yeah. It's always something new. There's always some wonky ass problem. Something's wrong with my let's just look at the mesh. I don't know. Maybe I never set it up yet. I don't know. I threw it in real fast yesterday, so very possible. Yeah, it's not even set up right. That's why. This is supposed to be block all custom harvestable. Block everything, sure. That's supposed to update though. Oh, it's a static mesh. It's not an ISM. It's a static mesh component. Ooh. Because I normally don't do that, that's why. Okay. like these wouldn't I wouldn't normally like just throw this into a map like this, you know what I mean, like drag and drop. So it's like, what are you doing? Like, that's not the normal process, but I have to change it so that I can test it. That's why. Usually they're auto-generated or they're painted. But in this rare instance, I have to do it this way. I mean, it doesn't matter. This will get overridden anyways, but... Okay. I mean, I could do it that way. I could just drag things in and have them be harvestable. See, now it's harvestable. Alright, so now we got to figure out why we're not getting numbers. Let's see what this is saying. Hold on. Okay. We're going right to here. We're saying... Is it because it's a static mesh still? It might still be because it's a static mesh. I'm doing good. Skate, what's new with you, man? Is valid. Oh, it's looking for a resource tag. It's gonna do that because it's not a harvestable. Okay, so this is a little bit harder than I thought to test. So let's just test it the other way. Let's have it populate. We're gonna do salvage pit. Which is this right here. Then we're gonna add a gotta find all this crap. Hang on. Mission assets, platform. Sure, that looks good. Okay, there's a platform. And then let's put this right here. You're trying to learn UE? Hey, man, if you have any questions, fire away, man. There is a lot to learn with this engine, to say the least. It is intense. Okay. So the salvage pit is going to say generate PCG, blah, blah, blah. And then let's go to our other blueprint real quick, which is enemy POIs, open, Junker Hut. Let's see what we did over here. We didn't even do anything over here. Okay. Rip. Let's set that up right now. We're gonna make a I guess I'll just do it manually. Whatever. I'm trying to think of a way I could do it clean, but well, I might be able to do it in the master POI actually. Yeah, is this what we're doing? Spawn specific resources. I begin play, spawn specific resources. Enemy POI data. Spawnable entities. Okay, so this spawns the people, but does it spawn the resources? What do we got this doing here? Test mesh. Okay, so we set the test mesh there. Okay, so right here, we don't know what we are. That's the problem. And that's why I was going to switch to a data system. Okay. So what we have to do is under S... Hold on, we're going to go for a ride here. This is going to get a little crazy. So S enemy POI is coming from... I don't want to break my train of thought here because this is like a really weird system I got to do. We're going to go to our structure, S enemy POI data, which is right over here somewhere. Wrong one. Nope. Nope. Shit. Well, it's supposed to be in there. That's sending me POI data. There it is. Let's move that in there where it belongs. Right area. It's supposed to go right there. Okay. Yeah, 1 second, guys. All right. I have to now add. This can't be a static mesh anymore. This needs to be a S master item. It was just a test anyways. Item, resource, to spawn, nearby, whatever. Spawn at site. Sure, that works. Okay, so then we can close that. We can come back to this, refresh this. Now we have an actual hard item we can play with. So now on the inside here, on our master harvestable, hold on, this is going to be a roller coaster, just bear with me. You're trying to interact with an actor, input building, line trace, inventory. And line tracing and inventories, today I started with it. Yeah, inventories are not chill. Inventories, I mean, they're very mathematical and they can really bog you down. That's not something you should start with if you're brand new. If you're just looking for like a casual startup, that's like jumping into the deep end there. I mean, fuck it. If you want to do it, do it. I jump into the deep end every day, man. Who cares? But you know, if you're that kind of way, like just shoot from the hip kind of person. That's how I am. Shoot first, ask questions later. Okay, so item data. So we're gonna say if the item data, we gotta know if we're being forced though. So we're gonna add a variable here that says incoming specific item. Okay, and we'll make this one expose on spawn. So if this is true, I think we're just going to redo our whole harvest system right now because this is like, I can't stand this anymore. Let's see. What kind of information do we get here? Quantity, yeah, get mesh, asset mesh. Okay, so what we could do is we could say if this is set to true, you know what? Fuck that, man. We should just always demand that it's true. Mesh. With themes, can you study in this moment? I don't know what you mean by that. Maybe that's a typo or something. Yeah, I mean, you can, yeah, like if you're doing inventory, I mean, look, it's not bad to do inventory. If that's really what you want to do, what's the project you're trying to do? Let's start from the beginning. I hope you're a note taker. Like, do you use note-taking software at all yet? Like Obsidian or Trello? Okay, I don't even have this in here at all, man. So we're going to have to totally make a new system. All right. Okie dokie then. No problem. Let's build a brand new system out of this. First things first, man. Give me the PDA item data. If said item has no name, we got to have a backup plan. So here's the cool thing. Inventories basically are going to be used everywhere. 1 a.m. in Italy, you're just chilling in bed. Nice. Um, yeah, dude. I mean, if you want to like, I mean, you can start with an inventory system. It's not the end of the world. You're gonna find that after you start to learn how to do inventory, um, like everything can use the same kind of setup. You know, like equipment is kind of like inventory. So you're trying to make a little horror house game. Okay, gotcha. Um, yeah, I mean, start small. You know, start small and see how it goes. I mean, I don't know if you know. So I'll give you some reading material for tomorrow then. Something to sleep on. So you're going to want to research what's called structures. Okay? You can't do an inventory system without structures. I mean, you theoretically could, but you need to learn about structures. So start doing research on structures and just like do some soft reading on that. Talk to Grok or something or some AI and start reading about structures. It's a variable. And what structures do is they let you do this stuff. So imagine, you know how, like, you know what a float is, right? Like, I make a float, and then this float represents a number, right? So a structure, yeah. So structs are structures. Yeah, they're called structures. Yeah. Structs is just the abbreviation for it. Yeah. So, same thing. So structures are really important. Structure, because what they do is, yeah. So they act as, think of them as wrappers. Okay. Think of them as like a package. Okay. So like, let's say you have to move a bunch of shit in your house, and you're like, okay, I need the this, I need that, I need this, I need a broom, I need a watch, I need to bring my cell phone, I need to bring whatever, a bunch of shit, right? You can put all of that inside a structure. Are we getting hit with an ad right now? Yep. No problem. I love how like all the MCU actors are like doing commercials now. It's freaking ridiculous. Okay, I think we're back. I'm not entirely sure. So anyways, okay, you're back. All right, cool. So yeah, so think of a structure as a box. It's like this big ass bin. It's this big storage bin, okay? And you can put a bunch of shit in it. And then later, I can call that shit and do whatever I want with it, okay? So like you see this little variable here? This one variable has a bunch of shit in it. It's got all this information. Is this item, what's this item's name? What's the item type? What's the description? What's the icon? What's the rarity? Is it stackable? How much does it have? What's its max stack value? What kind of sound effect does it have when I click on it? Does it have durability or not? Is it equipable or not? If it is, what kind of slot does it go into? Also, it uses a PDA, okay? Now, PDAs are called primary data assets, and I won't make your head explode before you go to bed, but that's something that you'll get into if you think that your things are going to like have durability loss. Then you're going to want to make your items a data asset. Exactly, yeah. So structures are essential for inventory systems. So what I'm doing right now is this is a harvestable node. Okay, like, you know, you play Fortnite or something, you run around, you hit a fucking rock, and it gives you rocks. Okay, so this is a harvestable node. It's a master, which means you make one, and then it will automatically, intelligently change to whatever type it's supposed to be. Is it supposed to be a tree? Is it supposed to be a rock? Is it supposed to be an energy source? So that's what this is. So what I'm making right now is it's saying on begin play, we get our game mode. Think of your game mode as your server if you're doing multiplayer. If you're doing single player, this would be your instance. You can just make it your main game instance if it's single player only. If it's multiplayer, it kind of has to be a game mode, where all your shit's gonna like do all the math so that people can't cheat. Okay, so then what you do is you say, okay, if our name is blank, this is a safety that I'm making. Okay, this whole system is going to be a function. It's going to be a safety function. So we're just going to take this right now, right click, collapse the function, and we're going to call this check for name missing. Okay, so we're building a new main structure line here. This chain is going to go through the whole system and it's going to set up this node accordingly. And this happens every time it appears. So what it's going to do is it's going to say, does this thing have any data at all? And I need to know whether or not, yeah, but there's a lot going on. This is a really advanced system that I'm doing. So I have to have it also do something else, which is called ISM. And so that's kind of, you don't need to know about this. It's just internal stuff because I'm dealing with other systems. But basically, is the item already considered, is it coming from an ISM? And if it is, which is called an instance static mesh, if it is, then we're not going to do any of this. We don't care. Just skip. Okay. But if it isn't, then we're coming in as something that needs to be set up correctly. So we're going to say, okay, well, did we get appropriate data from wherever we came from? If we didn't, then what we want to do is we want to make sure we set that up correctly. So we're just going to pick a default. This is to prevent like blank items or crashes. You should always have redundancy in your code, which means an oh shit, right? Like something goes to shit, like you want to have a backup plan. Like there should always be a true, there should always be a false. I mean, not always, but usually. So if the name is blank and for whatever fucking reason we don't have a name, we're just going to give ourselves a default item. That way we don't like have blank items all over the place. This is just an emergency to prevent weird crashes and weird glitches. I always try to put redundancy in my code. Okay, so we're just going to make that this, which means we're going to set our item data to whatever this default item is. I'm just making it minerals. It's like the most generic thing in the game. Okay, and that's really all we need to do with that. Now, if it doesn't have that, then what we're going to do is we're going to set everything up. So we're going to say, grab this. This is actually going to be a bigger function. And we're going to say, take this mesh that's inside our actor, set static mesh. And we're going to get the static mesh from inside a folder that's inside of our structure. Okay, so think of a folder inside of a folder. This PDA item represents basically another folder of asset data that we want. It's a way to like have like data assets let you maneuver and change things a lot. So it makes it very flexible. So structures don't. Structures you can't change. You can change the start of them, but you can't really, you can change them later, but it's a pain in the ass. Long story short, if you want it to be really flexible, you would use a data asset. But 9 times out of 10, you'd go with a structure anyways. But I have a hybrid. So it has a structure and an asset, a data asset inside it. So I can do anything I want pretty much. Because you never know what the fuck you're going to run into. Yeah, I'm going to blow your head off here with information. So you're going to be like, oh shit, I'm never going to sleep now. Just write down structures. And then right next to that, write down data assets. That's it. That'll keep you busy for a week. Because you want to get in the inventory. Once you learn inventory, that is a super system. And I call it a super system because it's like it will attach to everything in your game. So you're going to always be working on it. It's going to be important as hell. It's going to have the most buggy code in it. You got to make sure you know what you're doing with it. So like inventory is a major super system. So if you're starting with that, then that's good. But you're going to have to really make sure you know what you're doing there. Okay, so we need to get our static mesh, which is our asset mesh. This is our default mesh. And we're just going to set the static mesh. That's all we're doing. It took me 3 to 4 years to learn all this stuff. Self-taught, by the way, so if I can do it, you can do it. Never went to college, never did this ever. I was in a total different career path, so use that as there's no excuses, you know what I mean? All right, return node. Now the return node gets us out of our function. So this is saying, hey, if we didn't have a name, just set it to this and then get us out. We're actually not going to get out yet, though. We're going to do something else here. So we're going to take this now, and we're going to turn this into a function. We're going to call this setup asset. Okay. The reason why I did it that way is because now we can run this through the system like that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. You know what? I'm gonna pull that out. So when you're making functions, it can be a little sneaky. Some people like to have like functions inside of functions inside of functions so that it's super clean. And then they're like, oh, it's only one node on my screen. I don't like that because I can't see the bigger picture of what's going on. So I'm purposefully not going to do that. I'm just going to say, you know what? Just do this one little thing. Just change if we don't have any data and then move on. That's all I want to do, right? Like, I don't want to do anything else because I want to watch it from the outside. And you'll see what I'm saying here in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the outside. We're done with that. So see, this is our check. And then we're going to do our setup after. And the setup is pretty simple. It's just going to take all the information and plug it in, basically. And all the information it gives a shit about is, right now, it's just really a static mesh. There's not much more going on other than that. Do I have some videos? I do not. I haven't done any Unreal Engine videos because Unreal Engine's always changing. And I feel like, I don't know, people are like really judgmental on there. You get like some goofball that'll be like, you know, there's a better way to do that. It's like, well, there's always a better way, you know? So I kind of just stay out of that for now. I am on YouTube, but I do like gaming stuff. But yeah, I don't do any tutorials. I was thinking of doing tutorials. I might, but we'll see. Okay, so this is going to be a new variable. Is ISM. And this is going to be exposed. So this variable, when I do this, now means that this variable will be seen on the spawn side of things. So for example, when this thing spawns, this is the node we're making. So when this spawns now, if I hit refresh, there's the ISM that I just added. So it'll tell me whether or not this is an ISM. Okay. All right, we need the, we also got to bring in the item data. So let's grab our item data and let's expose that. This is going to clean, this whole thing is going to get a lot cleaner. That's why we're doing this. And now all I have to do is just plug that in. Done. And now this is going to handle everything internally. Yeah, Udemy courses are good. Udemy courses are good. We're not going to do that anymore. Okay, we're going to do, because that static mesh is going to be handled internally. Okay, so we're going to set up the asset, set the static mesh to whatever this PDA item data is. Yeah, and we've set that data accordingly already. So let's take a look at what else is going on here. We then need to get access to the core. So when I say core, that's an asset, that's an actor that I made. That's like a manager. So depending on what your game is, you might want to make a managing actor that basically does a lot of stuff that just sits there. So it can automatically like protect against cheaters. It can like manage the scoreboard for you, you know, like whatever you want to do. Yeah, sure. I can show you something here in a minute. Hang on. My game is it's a multiplayer action third-person shooter. So I don't know if you've ever heard of like Helldivers, or on a real basic level, in terms of like grinding dungeons, it might kind of be like Diablo, but it's like way more advanced in terms of graphics. But yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. Let's see what we got here. I can run a test anyways and see if that works. Let me do one more thing. Let me just make sure that this thing spawns, because I got to do a test. So Junker Hut, which is this. That's coming from Master POI, which then says take this. Unharvestable. Okay, I got to make sure that this is set correctly. Hold on. That's right. We're gonna do names. Ah. Decisions. I don't know if I want to do it this way. It's gonna have to be specific, man. Shit. Alright, let me do... Sorry, I'm trying to think of something in my head. I don't know how I want to set this up. Because I don't want to have to, like, populate all this data, right? Like, I don't want to have to fill all this shit out. So in order to make it easier, I wanted to make it like a drop-down system. So I'll probably use an enum for that. Enums are amazing for drop-downs, for just, like, quick selection, but they take a little extra setup time. So... You know what I could do? Let me take a look at the item data real quick. Hang on one second. Okay, master items are coming from where? It's going to be under blueprints. It's going to be under data table, master item. Here we go. Okay, how many of these do I have? Item type. Homeworld resource. Colony resource. Okay, you know what I could do, actually, is I could just say, I could just make it a an item type, and then that's an easy enum to do right there. So we could just say item type Yeah, so this is the data table, and this is a data table of structures. So these are all structures, each one, but it's the same structure called S, which means structure, master item. So we're just literally saying take the same structure but change what it's representing. So that's why structures are so good. You can have different icons, you can have different whatever. So yeah, this is my inventory system. So right now, you know, different resources, and then I have like further optimization or customization systems inside the PDA item. Like if I open this up, you'll see there's even more stuff in here. This is where we get all our static mesh data and all that stuff, sound effects, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it gets pretty crazy. But this is one of the best ways to do it. So you're going to need something. You don't want to have like everything, like these are like bulk items, basically. Like these are like hierarchy items. little tiny things like the quantities and stuff, or like maybe slight differences in appearance, that all happens on a sub level, but this is all like the primary level of stuff. So let me do item type inside here. We're gonna do, so let's change. I can bang this out pretty fast, but hold on one second. Let's do, so we're not going to do a name anymore because I don't like that. That's too much work for me to do. So we're going to do instead item type, change everything. It's going to freak the fuck out and I really don't care. And we're going to say, we can do a switch. And we're really only doing two different things here. We're doing colony resources, homeworld resources. So what I could do is I could say is equal to, you've worked with enums before? Colony resource is equal to homeworld resource. All right, so we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. Oh, actually, well, we do need the data table, except we're going to do something about it. This is no longer going to be called missing name. This is going to be called find data. So this will be pretty cool. Here's what we're going to do. So generally speaking, if, again, it's not an ISM, then what we're going to do is we're going to say, if we equal any of this, we're going to get our data table row. We're going to break this out. We're going to say get data table row names with a loop. And we're going to cycle through each one. And we're going to break it out. And we just want the item type to equal whatever the fuck we're bringing in. And if it is, meaning it's true, then what we're going to do is we're actually going to add that to an array internally. We're going to make a local array. That means it stays inside the function. So it's like going to stay inside that folder and not touch anything else outside. So we're going to say make a local. We're going to call this local item list. We'll make this an array. Add. Come on now. There we go. And then, so we're going to add everything that's considered the same type. We don't need this right now. And then we're going to say, when we're finished, we want to grab a random item. Okay. And that's going to become our main item. That will become our new variable. Item type incoming, item data incoming. Here we go. Structure data tables are rows of structures. So think of a data table as a spreadsheet, and it just has a bunch of different structures in it. And then those structures are like folders that have more layers of different types of specific information in it. So like name, picture, whatever. So yeah, structures work synergistically with data tables. You don't have to always use a data table. Like I could just make a random structure and just change it as I go, especially if it's just like one thing, which I do in some cases. But generally speaking, yeah, that's kind of how you do it. Okay, so whatever the item type is, we want to match it and just kick it in. And then that's going to be super clean. Being stupid. There it goes. Okay. And then this is going to be exposed. This is not going to be exposed. Okay, super good. That's a lot cleaner too, because then we're just bringing in a type of item. We're not actually like bringing in all the item data. Okay, and then this is going to come from our new data that we just created, which is random. So now everything's random. So now I don't have to deal with any of that bullshit. I don't have to be like, oh, I got to make this be that and this has to be that. No, I just be like, you know what? You get some type of resource. Done. And then the game will take care of it later on the back end. That's the kind of stuff you want to make in your game. You want things to be like very like RNG and just handles itself. You want them to be intelligent. Okay, so we find the data if it's an ISM. We set up the data. And then we get the actor of the class. Now this is going to have to be different as well. Is ISM. If it is an ISM, we are going to get information from our incoming ISM, and we'll change it according to that. And if not, we'll get it from the data table. I just don't know where that information is coming from right now. I can't remember. I don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. County core, foliage collision. I think it's because I'm setting it to an actual blueprint. I'm trying to remember how I have this set up right now. Like what is changing that static mesh? I'm trying to look through like old code to see where I'm having that set up, and I can't find it. Well, it's gotta come from somewhere, so we're just gonna plug this into here. Well, whatever. Where the fuck was that coming from? I must have been setting that on the backside, which I'm not gonna do anymore. ISM mesh. We're just gonna do that. Problem solved. And we're gonna say is valid. Remember, we gotta have redundancy in our code if something fails. So if it's valid, then we want to make it that mesh. If it's not valid, let's do is valid Boolean, and then we can do a select node from the Boolean, and we can say make this, if true, make it that, if false, make it a cube. How does that sound? So that I know that there's a problem. I'll know there's an issue if I see a cube. Okay. Alright, that should work. I just don't want it to be invisible, because then I won't know it's not a problem. Alright, I think we're good here. ISM needs to be checked on off on creation, which comes from our harvester, I believe. Okay, right up here. Okay, so this is what's changing now. So you can see all this crap, right? It's just like, look at all this shit. It's a fucking disaster. But it works. It works well, too. But this is what's going to change. So the item type, it'll know what kind of item type it is now based on what these are. Okay, so we're gonna take all this shit. Let me just do this for now. Get item type. There's our item type. Okay, now if this is an ISM, there it is. So see, I was setting the static mesh back here, and I was setting it to this. Okay. So we just have to do this. Didn't I include that somewhere? Guess not. We have to have that data get passed in from somewhere. It has to know what it's supposed to be when it gets hit. And the only way to do that is when it's spawned to tell it, hey man, you're supposed to look like this, or whatever. Refresh. There you go. Okay, so if it's coming from an ISM, we're gonna check that to true. You're barely moving here, man. We can put a lot of this in functions. This hasn't been cleaned in like years, so I think this is one of the first systems I made a long time ago. There's a lot of room to be adjusted. Okay, get item types. Now this is gonna say all this crap. Okay. Oh, you got ads right now. I'll wait till the ads are done. I'll get back to you on that. Okay, you're back. All right, cool. Then, if I were to study this method to implement an inventory, would I have to search inventory systems a structure? Oh, so like what kind of information do you look for? You would look for yeah, just in general, just structures, how they work. And then like you could say inventories, but the problem is you're gonna get like a million tutorials and they're all gonna like take you down a bunch of rabbit holes. So you kind of just want to look for just like basic understanding of structures. Like just try to understand like how they work, how to set them up. You know, like try like messing around with like setting up structures just so you get like the hang of it. I really need to start doing YouTube videos. I just don't have any time. Loop. Okay, so we're gonna look through our internal loop and see if we get a match. From this. Shit, that's not gonna work. Hold on. Does this contain this? There we go. Maybe a loop break. Okay, and if it does, just making a mini function here to check everything all at once because I'm sick of having like a million things here. All right, compile, save. You kind of caught me in the middle of like a huge thing that I'm doing, so can't really do too much right now. Foliage. 4. Aluminium. Grass. Minerals. Salvage. Energy. I think wood was still on there. Alright, so now I don't need any of that bullshit. So if we do find this, we're going to set this to our local variable. Found socket type. Which we always should. And then when we check the fuck out, we're going to go get data table row. Let's see, break. This will get me the socket type. I gotta know what kind of resource to make it. So this could be a little tricky. Well, the item type doesn't give me specifics, does it? Okay, so we might have to do this a little differently. Yeah, this is tricky. This is really tricky. Because we're dealing with sockets and shit, and which are like a backdoor to tags. And there's only so much information that they let you play with, so you have to like really be sneaky with how you do it. Basically, I'm gonna have to say yeah, I don't think I can use this right now. It's too early for that. Well, I'll just put a box on it. Coming soon. Deal with it later. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into that right now. All right, so this is just going to be called an ISM. If it's not, I gotta know what kind of item type that is, though. Yeah, my inventory is kind of on hold right now. Then for harvesters, I gotta deep dive into this. Anyways, I'll show you. I'll show you what I was talking about. So when something happens in this game, like when a POI spawns, they spawn like resources and stuff. Obviously, there's some things that are not working right now. This is a test. This is like a bullshit test map. I'm currently trying to test these monsters out. Yes, they're floating in the air and they look ridiculous, but it's because there's like tests going on and I'm trying to like test other stuff. But long story short, you can make your own character. You can do all sorts of stuff. There's different abilities that you can learn and equip and stuff like that. So there's weather that can affect everything. You can do missions, and then you can go to like different maps. You can drive this car around. You can make vehicles. You can craft vehicles. and then like take them out on the road and see what the hell you can find on these other maps. You're going to like different alien worlds and stuff, so you're always like out exploring. See, and I just broke this, so I'm not gonna get. Well, I guess it still works, but so you can like harvest anything that you can see basically, and you get resources which go in the top left. And then if you're really lucky, you can get really rare resources, like these ones that can drop. And then you can use these in crafting. There's like all these different types. And then those can go back to your ship or back to your main base. So if I go back to my main base, I mean, I'm on a test map, so everything looks like shit, but this is just a gray box right now. It's just a temporary. This is going to be like your main base area. And there's like different things you can build and stuff. And you can like assign vehicles and shit. And there's different maps you can play with your friends. So yeah, there's like a whole thing going on. And then of course there's your main inventory. You know, you're always collecting new things, crafting new things. But it's still like super new. I'm still trying to like get everything working. So yeah, it's on Steam right now, but the version that's on Steam is not the same as what's coming out. So I'm gonna it's like a brand new game. I'm making it like a brand new game. It was like an RTS game, and soon it's gonna be a multiplayer game. So it was a single player RTS. Now it's gonna be a multiplayer action shooter. So it's completely changing. So yeah, you can like go to like these different maps and stuff. Like this is an actual map, unlike the other one. Let it load here. Yeah, so there's like different things you can do, different things you can harvest. You can explore. There's going to be like wild creatures everywhere, and yeah, you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want. There's like rare discoveries. There's enemy camps. There's no time limit, so you can just like do whatever you want with your friends and just fuck around. There is like a range limit. You can only go so far on the map, but it's pretty big. So there's like different types of resources, obviously. But right now I just broke everything, so it's not working correctly. Right now it's just like destroying everything instantly. It actually is supposed to mine it for a while, but I have to fix that. So we're kind of redoing the whole harvesting system. Like this right here wants me to find like these rare stones. No, the name of the system is called, what we were talking about before is, it would just be like an inventory system. Well, I don't know. What I was working on is something totally different. But I was just talking to you about inventories and how you use structures for more than just inventory. You use them everywhere. So yeah, structures is what you're dealing with. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty damn good. Feels pretty smooth. Everything's going pretty good so far. Sounds good, Agent. Yeah. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of action going on. There's gonna be like, you know, enemies everywhere, and you've got like missions that you have to do. So not every mission is gonna be like blow shit up. You know, like some missions are like go find, you know, some enemy camp and destroy it, sure. Whereas another one could be like go find rare resources, go like meet a rendezvous point with like, you know, another faction or something. So yeah, there's like a whole bunch of different stuff going on. But yeah, and the maps are going to be absolutely gigantic. So, and you can like swap your gear out and do like different, you know, whatever you want to do. Different loadouts and stuff, different gear. You can bring stuff, like your friends can bring like turrets and stuff to like help you on your missions. So you like quick harvesting? Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Skate. Thanks. Yeah, the harvesting right now is getting redone. I do like it to take a little bit of time, but it's going to be a lot faster than how it was. It's not going to be this fucking fast. This is like broken fast. You're not supposed to be able to just like pop a rock in 1 second, because then you're just getting tons of resources. But it'll be like done, done. You know, it'll be fast, but it won't be this fast. Currently, I'm redoing the whole major system though for it. So that's what this is, and we're gonna get errors up the ass because it's broken right now, which is totally fine. So yeah, this is getting changed. Yeah. Oh, in No Man's Sky? Yeah, you just spend hours. Yeah, well, it depends on what it is, though, right? I mean, if it's something that's forced, then I can understand where that would be really annoying. But, yeah, that's tricky, man. I'm like just now realizing that these are like always going to be ISMs for the most part. So I'm gonna have to come up with some. This node right here has to be really sneaky, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I have to basically get the socket type, and then I gotta somehow convert that into item data, or at least item type. Or what I could do is I could just output the. I could output these types, or maybe I'll put these inside of this. I don't know what's easier, to get the item type or to get the booleans. I think the booleans might be easier. Why don't I make a different enum? I think is what I gotta do. Yeah, that's the problem. I need an actual enum that represents this specific problem. Right, that's in the wrong area. Very big, too big, an open world based trading with NPCs, GameCraft. I mean, it's not that hard to do that stuff. Making like big maps is honestly one of the easiest things on earth to do. It's making everything work well. That's the hard part. Forest. That's hilarious. Yeah, I've been playing Dune a little bit here and there, and yeah, Dune, it's pretty grindy, but it's not too bad yet. We'll see. Resource. Wait, don't I already have one called resource type? Hold on. Let's see, resource type. Ugh, I just got it. The bigger this game gets, the more I just have to use the search bar. Okay, resource type, what is this supposed to be? Minerals, energy, aluminium, data bit. I don't think I want to fuck with that right now, but it might be what we need. Let's change this to resource. We might be able to use, we could probably piggyback off this actually, the more I think about it. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll change this to resource type. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say if false, or no, if true. All right, come on, get out of my face. Oh my god, it's like taking forever to like fix itself. How to make it, yeah, how to make everything right. That's the problem, man. Like, game dev is not easy, bro. Okay, so we're gonna say switch because this is the easiest way to do this. And we're gonna basically set this up so that we set up our resources to do whatever we're supposed to do. And that's gonna be all of, let's see, is that under find data? Yeah, okay, so let's take setup asset. We'll make this, call this something different. Setup appearance. Setup visual mesh, whatever. Okay, so that's the visual mesh. That's coming from the item data. If it's an ISM, we do that. If it's, I'm trying to make this a hybrid system. That's why I'm like wrestling with all these decisions right now. I'm trying to think of like how I can make this a multi-phase system. Because sometimes I want to use it for different situations, so I try to make my systems like very adaptable. Okay, so now we got, if it's minerals, I need to know what we're changing. So let me learn from my old notes here. Current health. Okay, so we got current health, and then that basically gives us, what are my actual variables? Resource type. Add colony resource right there. Resource type. Okay. So we're going to swap that out with this. Like that. There we go. I got to start changing those. So we got to very carefully play Where's Waldo here and make sure that we get each one of those. There's another one. Okay, let's scan the next thread. Yeah, that's right. We want to say item type incoming, so that's good. Okay, let's check inside these functions real quick, make sure there's nothing goofy going on. Yep, we're good. All right, cool, cool. Okay, I don't know what that was in there for, but all right. It's easy once you check the easy mode boolean. All right, sounds good, Skate. We'll catch you later, man. Yep, have a good one, man. Get some sleep. All right, so if we do item type incoming, okay, I think we're good there. So what we're gonna do here, okay, and there's like a lot of like blur and noise going on right now for anyone new watching, but we're just we're trying to fix the system here. Okay, so item type incoming is what I care about. I no longer care about resource type. Before I destroy that, let's take a look on the front real quick and make sure that that's not connected to anything else. Ah, it is. That's what I thought. Okay, so resource type. Here's a little bastard. Okay, so this goes down here. That's where we're getting our actual resource type from. Now I can get rid of this resource type. I can get rid of this. Don't care about that anymore. I think. Let's compile that. We're very cautiously pulling things apart and fixing this. Okay. That may have broken something. I don't know. I guess we'll find out eventually. It's the way I do shit. It's like, yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. All right, so now the next thing I want to do is fix this shit because we don't want all these like random variables. So that's going to be handled internally based on the item type. So the best way to do that is to select our enum inside of here. So let's do this. If the item type is coming in, this is telling us, what is this telling me then? Which part am I working on right now? Right this moment, welcome, by the way, welcome. Right this moment, I'm working on the harvesting system. So to like harvest resources, I'm trying to fix some stuff. I'm trying to basically update some old stuff and make it a little bit better. Okay, so if the item type incoming, let's just double check our code here. Okay, see all this bullshit? All this bullshit, like, are we Elementium? Are we ore? Are we random? Like, this whole thing is about to change. It's going to get turned into, like, one little node. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So this is fine. I don't care about this for now. I don't care about this for now. Oh, actually, I do care about that. Hold on. Because if we're not an ISM, we don't want to do any of this. Return node. Okay. That, get us out of there, and we're good. All right, so that's if we're an actual item. Find, look up specific item data info. All right, and that's probably going to be bypassed for the most part, which will just take us right to this next one, which sets up our actual static mesh, which we've already set. And then it goes to this, it does this, blah, blah, blah. And here's where the fun begins. Okay. So instead of foliage and all these like millions of booleans everywhere, we're going to convert it into a switch system. Actually, I'm going to make it a select system. And it's going to say, to guy here. Okay, so that's for random amounts. Yeah, so like when this is kind of like prototyping. So I prototyped this whole system a long time ago, and one of the fastest ways to prototype is to just use like branches and stuff, like just like simple yes nos, you know, just like really easy and quick. And then the next level would be like cleaning it up with functions and enums and stuff like that, which is what we're currently starting to kind of do. Like this is like the new stuff that's going in. It's looking a lot cleaner. So we're getting there. Yeah, it's definitely fun. I enjoy it, that's for sure. All right, so depending on what we are, what does this do? Okay, foliage collision. So if we're gonna need a switch. I can't use the selector. We gotta use a switch because we need very specific functions to take place at very specific times. So we're gonna say, if we are null, we do nothing. That's easy. If we are a foliage, that's going to be based on minerals. God, there's just no way to tell, is there? Unless I have that data come in from the socket. So we're going to have to do a socket referral to figure out what shit we're supposed to do here. Okay, so like if we're ore, we go there. All right, so let's slowly start disconnecting these, and then we'll reconnect them in a better way. So if we're ore, we want to be set to, see, ore is different. Ore is different. I can't do that yet. Because ore does this, and then it does this. So, let me think about this for a minute. Where's my proc chance coming from? Here we go. Yeah, so enemy damage. Is this on setup? Oh, okay, so this one's just my setup string. So really we just need to know if we're foliage or not. And then we're setting up our random health based on what we are. Okay. Alright, this isn't too bad. I can do this. It's not as bad as I thought. Okay. Alright, we can use the select node, I think. So we're going to set everything to be specific based on what kind it is. So we're going to do select node, and we're going to say that how much health should everything have. If it's null, it's going to have at least 100. We don't want it to just be invisible. If it's minerals, that means it's usually rocks. So we're going to say it's going to have like, I don't know, like 150-ish max. If it's energy, it probably doesn't have that much. It's probably more like 50. Aluminium, we'll say like 30. Unique resource should have like not much at all, like maybe like 10. Okay, and then what we can do is we can say select minimum. So what's the min-max here for every different resource type? So if we are null, we're going to be minimum 1. Minerals, it's going to be minimum of 10. Energy, 10. Aluminium, 10. Unique resources, 10. Let's pump up unique resources to 20, just for now. Okay. We're going to change this to a function. We're going to call this setup health. Because, yeah, plants, trees, rocks, they all need health, basically. Return node. That takes us out. Guarantees that it takes us out. Okay, so now the next section is we got to know whether or not we are foliage, and this is going to be dependent based on what sockets we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say we need to carry over our socket information, like what name are we, basically. So let's do socket. And this is just going to be a name. It's going to be exposed. And that way we don't need to bring in like a million booleans. We can just bring in one socket, and then we'll determine inside of a function what we do. So let's go back to the main system here. Socket. Refresh. Okay, so we're going to look for a socket, make sure it contains something like this. If it does, set the found socket type, and make that our socket. Easy peasy. Okay, compile and save that. All right, so now this has a socket, so I can disconnect all these, but I've learned my lesson in the past. You never really want to delete anything, so until you're really confident that it's going to work the other way. So rather than have to jump through hoops, I'm just going to do this and test it this way. That's what we're getting rid of, is all this junk. Compile, save. The assigned icon, that's another one. So icon is going to have to be based on the socket type. So I'll do that inside of here next. So that's what we're going to do. This is like the final spot that we're doing next. So we're going to go into harvestable, and we're going to say get our socket right here. And we're going to say select. This is this right here. So based on whatever this is, we want to set our internal icon to whatever the data is for these, which is going to have to be a I mean, I could do this the easy way or the hard way. Icon. This one's going to be different. This one's going to be... if false. If true. We're gonna get the data table row, and it's gonna be DT master item break. That icon. Okay. I really don't like when I have to change this every time. That should be good for now. I'm trying to think about what to do. This is gonna be icons. Let's say right click this, convert function, set icon. Okay, and then if we are foliage or not, that's now this is where this system comes from. We gotta say socket equals, there's only one. If it equals foliage, then we do this. If it doesn't, then we don't. Okay, so if it equals foliage, we do the foliage collision system, which I don't even think I have to do anymore, but we're just gonna leave it in for now. And then if not, then we just bypass it. And then we want to set our icons, so let's set that up somewhere. Do that back here, doesn't really matter. Okay. This is going to be if we are coming in as a direct, whether or not we're an ISM. So I need to say, are we an ISM? Which is an instanced static mesh. If we are, go right to here. I don't care about that because obviously that means we're not. We're not. Then we're going to get the item data directly. Don't even have to look it up. Okay. This should kind of actually handle itself. I don't even need that. I can clean this up a lot more. Okay, we can just do this. There we go. Okay. Basically, all we give a shit about is we're just going to only change this if it's a unique resource, which means we're not an ISM, which will handle itself. And if it doesn't, it'll error and we'll know. Okay, so that's done. Set icons all set. This is our health scrambler. Do I have a? I thought I had a BPL scramble chance. Number result. That's fine for now. Whatever. That's fine. Okay. So we've got our health that gets set up. We have our collisions that get set up. We have our event graph that gets set up. For the most part, I think this is all good to go. This is already getting updated. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say if we're an ISM, blah, 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 blah. We can make this internal, so this is a little bit cleaner. Okay. And then we're going to go here, get our core, because we need that for other stuff. Set up our health. Get the socket. If it equals foliage, then set the foliage collision. Yeah. And then we can finally get to this shit now. So we don't really give a shit about this. We already set all that up. So all that can get blown out. We don't care about random amounts. We don't care if we're Elementium or not. And we don't care about Loot Crate right now. But we'll deal with that later. Get rid of this. See how this is going to clean up dramatically here in a minute. Okay. Next part. Down here. When we take damage. Now, a lot of this kind of has to be kind of the same. There's really not too much. It's a lot of math. So we could probably turn a lot of this into a function, to be honest. Item type incoming. I mean, that's fine. That's on its own. But we've got a lot of this crap to deal with. Yeah, I kind of have to leave some of this shit alone because what it does is it does like a lot of procking. You know, like it's procking like certain XP values. It's procking whether or not you get bonus resources. So I kind of have to leave this. But this right here can't be ore. This has to be something else. So we got to change this to resource type. Is this equal to... not that. It's going to be the socket. Is this equal to 4? We're changing everything to a socket system so I can just grab it all out of one socket instead of having to have like 50 freaking booleans everywhere. Okay, so that's good. So now the fun part. I can compile this, save that. We do not need Elementium, I don't think. Let me just double checking here. Okay, we do have one more in there. Let's clean this up. Harvest bonus. Yeah, that's going to come later. Let's grab our socket. Equal to Elementium. Elementium. If it is equal to Elementium, do your thing. If not, skip. Okay, that is definitely a long ass chain there. All right, we'll just move that there. Perfect. Close. That. All right. Random proc chance. Looks clean in there. Okay. Almost done. Random proc energy. 24, that's off. That's off. We're gonna do EPL RNG. Is it random number result? Yeah. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So basically I can get rid of all this junk. And what we can do is we can say just this. Branch. Boom. Nice and clean. And then our percentage chance, we can make this whatever we want. So let's make it like 0.25% chance. And then that'll obviously increase based on player bonus later for a skill. So there's a 25% chance that you'll get a harvest bonus when you're harvesting anything, and that harvest bonus will be energy. So 1 out of every 4 hits, you'll get energy. So that's pretty fair. Okay, and then I think we are good. We can now delete a bunch of shit finally. So let's get rid of ore, foliage, aluminium. Okay, and then we'll go to this. We don't need random amount anymore. Finally cleaning this thing up a little bit, man. All right, let's take a look at the node now on the flip side. Much better. So now we just need the socket, the mesh, specific amount. We don't need that anymore. Let me just double check, because I'm pretty sure we're doing our own scramble now. Yeah. I think specific amount was for something else. That's if I wanted to do like a cheat or something, but I'm not doing that anymore. So blow that up. 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 Way cleaner, huh? Okay, what is this supposed to be? Hold on. I don't know what that was supposed to be. What did I have that plugged in as? It's just always been sitting there the whole time? Okay, that's just random nonsense. Okay. Remove instance. Oh, is this if it's I think this is if it's grass. Okay, all socket names. Contains item. Grass. Grass is like really different, so I kind of have to have that in here, unfortunately. But that's it. Everything else I don't give a shit about. Because grass, I like to just like cluster bomb it and just like take a lot of it out all at once, as opposed to like, you know, like slowly taking each blade of grass out, which is redonkulously slow. So that's what this long ass chain does. Yeah, alright, cool. So we can clean a lot of this up still further, but in the meantime, I don't need to set the static mesh anymore. It's already been set ahead of time. Hit harvest, we need a damage pauser. Do I have that? Player harvesting. Yeah, let's move that over here. Point. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see if it works. Looks good to me. Yep. I'm proccing energy. I'm getting all sorts of minerals from all this crap, which is honestly a lot. We're gonna have to tone down the balance on some of this stuff, but yeah, not bad, not too shabby. Yeah, foliage is like ridiculous. We did get an error. Couldn't get any data on this. That's weird. It's never supposed to trigger, but okay. I guess we'll just put some redundancies in here, since that's all foobar. If it does mess up, I want to see it, because that doesn't make any fucking sense. But whatever. Alright. Let's do this. Let's go back to setup health. Okay, so the minimum for... okay. So what we have to do now is we have to say, we gotta get our socket type. So here's what we'll start doing specifics. And we can start saying like, if our socket, hold on a second, let's do minerals, select. Can I not do a name on this? Oh man, really? Oh, it's gonna be annoying. Equals foliage. We can start basically doing separators that can start determining whether or not how much we should get for each specific type of resource. So like maximum for a mineral would be like 120, but if it's a plant, we only want to get like a maximum of like 12 or some shit. Maybe like, yeah, 15. Alright, so I should not see anything more than 15 minerals whenever I hit any of these plants now. There we go, that's better. They harvest a little quicker too, which is nice. Foliage should not take you that long to harvest. And you're proccing energy, so yeah, that actually feels really good. That's actually not that bad. What is going on with this thing? Bro, like, you are not even supposed to fire off, man. Like, what is wrong with this? This should always be... It should always be true. I don't know why it's, I guess we'll hardwire this bitch. If true. I don't know why it's doing that. Looking good, boys. Looking good. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. That feels good. That feels good. That's way better than before. It felt like so clunky. Like it took ages to get through foliage last time. Yeah, that feels a lot better. I like that. We need to try rocks and shit too. I don't even know if these will work or not. Okay, so these are still set to default. That's good. Yeah, sweet. All right, cool. Let's try doing like some rocks real quick. So all I should have to do now is just paint whatever I want. So let's just do like some rocks. And then we'll do some aluminium. That is a lot of aluminium. Holy shit. Alright, that's all I need to do. Paint your world however you want. Click on our little special system, hit scan update, done. Now the whole world should respect that like normal harvesting. The whole point is making super systems that are intelligent enough to like make your life a hell of a lot easier. Yeah, see now all these things work perfect. They automatically know that they're supposed to drop rare resources, which they're doing. Perfect. And I'm getting XP as well. Alright, let's do the stones. See how these feel. That's fast. That's pretty fast. That feels good. For a stone, I mean, does it need to really be much faster than that? Remember, you can also like level up different abilities that will make your harvesting go faster. I just haven't added it yet. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. Sweet. Alright. Cool beans. Not bad. Not too shabby at all. Alright. That's kind of all I wanted to get to today. I want to just get some of the harvesting systems all remastered, which they are. There's a few more things that I wanted to do. But they're pretty close so far. I like how it's feeling. It's a little bit cleaner. And then we cleaned some other things up. I really wanted to also add... Yeah, see, this has to get fixed. This is the main thing I wanted to fix. I forgot about this. So we can just say break. Get asset mesh. Get socket. Get socket. Find socket. No. Cast to static. Cast to. This is not going to be an ISM. This is going to be a direct line. So I might have to still bring in an item directly for stuff like this. Okay, so that sets the static mesh already. That sets the static mesh there, so I don't need this exposed anymore, do I? Oh no, I do, that's right. Okay, and then if false, we're getting the direct line of data anyways. Set static mesh PDA data, that's fine. And then I gotta set up the socket, I think, is the problem. Everything's dependent on socket data. Master items, find all the items that match this. No, that's not needed. That's not needed anymore. Nope, not needed. This isn't needed at all. None of this is needed. Because if we're bringing in item data, then we're just bringing it in straight up. So we don't need that anymore. That is a dead function. Okay, set up visual mesh. That one's fine. Icon. Okay, so this one needs to know whether or not we're an ISM. So if we are, and we will bypass this hook. Oh shit. Actually, hold on. If we are... Actually, yeah, that should handle itself too. Now that I think about it. Because we're doing it manually. So that should handle itself. Okay. Cool. And then... we gotta make sure that the item type incoming, though, gets set. So that should probably happen right in the beginning. So if this is true, then yeah. I'm calling that data in here though, so I might as well just do it in here, I think. Yeah, let me just do it in here. So we'll say get the item type. And we're going to set incoming item type. Oops, that's not item type. What is that? Resource type? Ooh, that's right. It's resource type. Okay, so we can set this then to, let's see, that's going to be That is not what I want. Oh, it's gonna go here anyways. Item type. How is that not the right? Let me take a look at this for a second. Right. About that. Oh, it's resource type. That's why. Okay, so that's gonna be tricky. We're just gonna have to say, fuck. That's tricky. 125 maps? Are you serious? 145 skybox maps and teleporting. Wow. That's crazy, man. Good job. That's nuts. That sounds huge. Good lord. Resource type incoming. I mean, it is space, so it makes sense. Shit. I don't know how I'm going to determine what these are. You have to be based on the socket. That's the only way. Socket. Alright. We're going to say if this is equal to... Let's do a select. Come on. Option 1 is minerals. Option 2 is energy. Option 3 is aluminium. And we're going to say option 4 is unique resource. Okay, I convert a... Maybe I can convert a byte out of this. Oof. Okay, we don't want to do that. Oh man, how am I going to convert this from a socket name? Salvage. Okay, let's do this. Let's say if the item type is equal to colony resource, then we're going to set this to Takes you to empty box showing one sky map, simulating empty space. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, space is a tough one, dude. Space is definitely a tough one. Okay, we're gonna say make array. It's gonna be minerals, energy, or aluminium. I kind of like this better. So if it's salvage, if it's determined that it's gonna be a colony resource type, which it usually will, then this will just pick a random resource, so you don't know what you're going to get. I kind of like that. And then if it's not, then obviously it's going to be equal to specific resource. So if that's true, then we want to set this to unique. If false, we'll go there, just to keep things safe. All right, let's turn this into a function. And we'll say setup resource type. There we go. Not too shabby, huh? Not too shabby. Return node. No matter what happens, take us out. Okay, and then yeah, we set up the rest of this shit. That should be good. So okay, let's see what we got here now. So if I make an item, let's take a look at the whole chain. So if I make an item and it's got a socket shit. Well, shit, Rick. Resource type incoming. That's supposed to be that right there. Okay, so if it's not an ISM is what I'm trying to say. So if it's an ISM, this should work perfectly fine. But if it's not an ISM and it is coming from an enemy unit that spawns something specific, what it will do is it will say, I'm not an ISM, and it will just plug in that ISM mesh data, which is all it needs. And it needs to know, well, since it's not an ISM, it knows that it's obviously going to be a, shit. It needs that item data, doesn't it? It needs that fucking item data. Son of a bitch. Well, I guess we're gonna have to expose that after all. Alright, let's just do it this way then. Boom. There. That's the easy way. Alright. So now we have the item data, and now it should work. So in order to check that, what we can do is we will make sure that this right here should spawn a pile of debris there. So let's go to this salvage pit. Okay. Turn that off for a minute. We're gonna go back to this one. Spawn specific resource. Okay. that is going to be, what is this? This is coming from enemy POI data. Okay, so I need to go to enemy POI data. It's going to be back over here. We're almost done. This will be pretty sweet once it's done, because then everything will be maintained on its own, basically. Enemy POI. Whoops, wrong one. Needs to go over here. Okay, here we go. Working on 10 tunnel systems now that branch 3 ways, teleports to other map. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, tunnel systems. I would just use splines and just have them randomly generate in random directions. Yeah, you could do some really cool shit with that. Okay, so what we're getting at here finally is salvage pit. So, we need to change another thing too. God damn it. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. Let's do enemy POI. Okay, so I gotta change this. Unfortunately, this is just gonna be a item type, resource type. E-resource type. There we go. And we will make this just one thing. And now when I go back to this, I can just say this is going to be shit. It needs that fucking data though, man. It needs that fucking data. Okay. All right. Fine. Stop beating around the bush here. All right. So we're just gonna have to do a name, I guess. So I'll just say, it's so stupid. So I do socket data. I could do socket data. Maybe that's even cleaner. Let me try socket data. Let's see if I can get away with this. Now I just say salvage. And then this will refresh to this. And we're going to have to translate right here. Ugh. It still ain't gonna work, man. It's still not gonna fucking work. Not unless I do a static mesh with it. It needs to have fucking item data, bro. There's just no other way around that. Fuck. I guess I could do like... I don't know. Let's see. What's going on, sir? I just saw your message. Is that your base? Looks badass. It's huge. Good lord. Yeah, it looks nice. I almost have my chopper built. I was working on it late last night, and I was like, I gotta work on the game more. Looks cool, man. I like it. Dude, I didn't realize how big the world of Dune really was until I actually, like, looked at some of these interactive maps. Like, holy shit, man. So, like, these are huge zones. And then on top of that, you have the outer, and then this doesn't even count the deep desert, which is thousands of players. Like, it's massive. Yeah. It's fucking huge. Alright, let's just do a name of the resource. So I'll just say salvage. I'm having an issue with like how I'm gonna keep this clean here. Yeah, Dune is amazing and terrible at the same time. Like, there is some wonky fucking mechanics, man. Like, wonky fucking shit. I feel like Funcom has always been this way. They were like this with Conan and all the other shit. It's like they're 10 out of 10. Like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then they're like 1 out of 10. Like, what were you thinking? This is awful. Like, I got friends who said they were stuck in a city for 3 days and they couldn't leave. Like, what? Like, just really dumb shit. So, I don't know. I'm right in the middle, man. I'm 50-50. I enjoy playing it, I'm not gonna lie, but I am not like 100% into it. I'm a very skeptical, stern 50-50. Did you hear about the end game? The end game is disastrous. So the end game is swarms of like 50 players just like killing everybody. It's just total carnage. So have fun with that. So I don't have any real intention in going out there unless I want to just YOLO and see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. It sounds a little weird. Dude, I do not know what to do with this. I think I'm just gonna have to do... If I do a master item data... I kind of need like another data table is the problem. What if I did socket with mesh? And then I picked a random of that type. That might work. So I do a map. And I do socket plus static mesh. Oh, it's gotta be an instant static mesh though. Fuck. No, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be wonk. I'll just do the name, and then I'm just gonna have to look it fucking up. I'm just gonna have to look it up. I don't know how else to do this. This is a real tricky one. It's a very niche problem that I'm having right now. I'm trying to find a workaround. Alright, let's just do master item. And then we're gonna add an item. We're going to call this salvage. Oh, God, I hate doing this. This is stupid. Like, I shouldn't have to make a fucking thing for salvage. Unless, what if I got, this has to be like, what I'm trying to get at is this asset needs to be like one of 50 different types of assets. So I guess what we're going to do is this is just going to be like a rare, weird super type. It's going to be colony resource, salvage. Sure, whatever. Loot rarity, common, stackable, whatever. None of that shit should even matter. Because then what we're going to do is on the back side here, we're just going to say, we're just getting the name only. So we'll say da 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 da. Get the data coming in. All right, let's just get this over with. Collapse function. Get item data. So we're gonna say, come on, here we go. We're gonna say if ISM is true, we don't do shit. But if it's false, then we gotta get this data. We get this data, and the description name is equal to salvage, which it will be. But if not, get out of here. But if it is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set all of our stuff independently. We're gonna set the icon to this for now. We're gonna set the resource type incoming to we can just do that randomly later. It doesn't matter. Where was that under? Return node. Okay, so before that happens, right back here, we need to set this. colony resource. Okay, so if it's an ISM, we ignore this. If it's not an ISM, we see if the name is salvage or not. If the name says salvage, then we're going to do our own thing, which means we need to set our independent icon to a generic one. We're going to set the item type to colony resource. And anything else I should do? I think that's it. Yeah, that should do it. Okay. And yeah, that should do what we need. So now this item data will know that it's a colony resource. So then when we come into the second part, which is this one, it's not an ISM. All it grabs is this. If it equals colony resource, which it will, then we pick a random resource type, which is of those types, and it will basically effectively turn the salvage into a random type. If not, it'll pick the specifics, which we got to set up later. We haven't done yet. And then we set up the visuals. Now the visuals are a little interesting. The visuals are going to have to be PDA item. Okay, so I'm going to have to make a PDA item for this main item, unfortunately. So salvage is going to be PDA item. And it's going to be items, resources, colony resources. Let's just duplicate that and we'll call this C underscore salvage. There we go. And then let's set this up so that we can get some properties in here. So this is going to be the item mesh. It's going to be pile 1 or 2, whatever, just for now, just so I have something. PDA item ghost mesh, same thing. I just need to populate this data with some bullshit. Okay, that should be fine. And then that should work. And then on the back side here, all that shit will get set up. That's the actual static mesh it's going to become. But we can make that different right here. Let's see, let's do this. Let's say if it equals da-da-da. Let's go here. If it equals... salvage. We're actually going to set the harvest mesh to be a random array item of salvage pile 1, pile 3. Alright, so this is if a specific name comes in, then it's going to have to be a specific type of asset. I mean, I could go on and on and on and add a bunch of different things here, but I just want it to be randomly between one of those piles. So let's try that. Hold on, did I set that up yet? POI. Yeah, this needs to be set to... data table row. What am I inside of right here? Yeah, this is POI. Okay, so we're just gonna say, do this. Okay. Hopefully that fucking works. Let's see. Gift book. Of course it doesn't work. Why would it? Oh wait, it did work. Okay, so this one worked. It spawned a cube though, so that means it missed data somewhere along the chain. So that's somewhere in here. Random between these two. Does display name equals 0? If it does, set it to view. Why is that displaying nothing? Incoming data item. Resource to spawn. That should be salvage, right? Oh, it reset on me, that's why. That would be why. Well, at least we know it did something generic. Alright, let's see what we got here. It's like 400 freaking miles away. Alright, it worked. Nice. So it automatically added my pile of scrap metal. It knew what it was, and it was random. It picked between like a random pile, and it should be harvestable, which it is. I gotta change how it gets harvested, because right now it just went in my bag as like a random item, which is not supposed to happen. So many different variables. Event damage, da 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 da. Set up health. Why didn't that work? Item data. Probably because it's looking for a stupid socket. This is so tricky, man. I'm just gonna have to name that the same as the socket. If the name is equal to salvage, I'll do this. Select. That. God damn it. Alright. I won't have to deal with that later, because I gotta get some food. Yeah, so long story short, we've gotten it to the point where any asset that we decide for any POI in the entire game will automatically spawn whatever we give it as its name. So if we just type this, like, any name in, if I just type in, like, whatever, you know, it's gotta be a resource. I don't like the way this is right now, but it's close. So I'll probably have to put like a back hook in there somewhere for enums. So it's just like a drop down menu. But for now, it's close. So long story short, we got it to a point where it actually works. And the POIs will randomly spawn whatever special item they're supposed to have. So it kind of works, but I'm probably gonna have to change some shit. I don't really entirely like it. The problem is there's like 4 different ways that this item can get called in the game, and I'm trying to accommodate like all these different angles, and it's really tricky. It's just really tricky because you're trying to like come up with a system that's adaptable for every situation. So long story short, it does work right now. It's not working the way I want it to, but I'll hone this and tweak this a little bit more. I didn't really get a chance to work on the enemy AI too much today, but I've been like exhausted from all the work lately, so I'm kind of like trying to like limp to the finish line. But what we'll probably do tomorrow is I'll probably just like populate a bunch of enemies. It'll just be like an asset pump out day, and we'll just start making sure that like the enemies all work. I can spawn random enemies, I can kill them, and then we're going to try to start implementing the ability for them to attack us back. And then once that's done, we'll basically have it set up so that these work on maps. I mean, they should actually work on a map right now that I think about it. Let me just do a final test here. Like, we should theoretically be able to find this these creatures on a normal map. So let's take a look. Everything's a lot more polished too. Like, I've been slowly like adding more, you know, fluidity to systems, and things are a lot more snappy. I mean, we're running in the editor at full 4K, and it's like smooth as a fucking whistle. So I'm really doing pretty good here, I think, for the most part. Yeah, see, those are glitched now. It doesn't know what to do for those, so we'll have to change that. But in the meantime, let's use our vehicle here. I did add a little bit more linear dampening to this thing, but it is still a disaster. I gotta fix this car. I think the problem is the wheels like stick almost too hard to the ground. God damn it. Fucking useless. Fucking useless right now. Did I really get that far away from my car? Or the car must have like drove way off on its own. Yeah, I gotta fix the a lot of things with this vehicle still. Still faster than walking if I can get it to just go straight. Oh god. If. Alright, maybe it is bad. I gotta fix that vehicle. So now we're getting into the ballpark of like tweaking everything and making things just like run better and feel better. I don't see those enemies anywhere yet. Could be anywhere though. I think the next thing I'm gonna have to do is like tell it to say, hey, don't go further than a certain distance from the core, but don't be too close to the core, like where we spawn, because these guys could literally be anywhere right now. Yeah, alright, so let's write that down so we don't forget. Okay, we're gonna do short list. Exactly. keep away from the beacon and keep from going too far away into other areas. Yeah, because like right now what's happening is I think it's spawning our POI. Like it is spawning in the world. It's just spawning so far away we'll never find it. So we're gonna have to start like, you know, bringing everything in and organizing stuff for our maps. So that's one thing that I have to do. Storage chests are what type of resource needs to talk to master resource better. Also calling salvage item in POI is too specific, needs new enum socket system. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like fix this a little bit because there's just like a lot going on. There's 3 major systems. There's natural foliage that automatically gets converted into an asset that you can harvest. There's dev design, which is like me putting down a chest somewhere that I want you to be able to get, or me putting a resource somewhere physically that needs to be specifically harvested. And then there is the third system, which is automatic generations from POI, such as nearby chests, maybe like there's some type of loot pile that appears, stuff like that. So I need to get those 3 things to all talk to this master harvesting system. It is like close. It's like 45% done, but it's going to move real fast because the other major systems will kind of follow what we just made. Like this stuff is all pretty solid, so we're just going to have to change it a little bit. And I honestly can't think of a way to do it yet, so I just got to clear my head and come back at it again later. So, all right, that's all I got for today, guys. This was a fun run. I will be on again tomorrow, and we'll be picking up where we left off. I'll probably try to hit a little bit more before then as well. So, you guys take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Keep enjoying the game devs. Keep enjoying the game projects that you guys are working on. Keep staying at it, and we'll see how it goes. All right, take it easy, guys. Peace out. Have a good one.